There is a dimension where the legal and the illegal are discussed. It explores the vastness of right versus wrong, causing man to study light and shadow to determine what is true and just. It's a dimension of discernment, and it's in an area called the legal zone.
With Halloween approaching, it's common to see scary movies on television and hear the usual ghost stories around San Antonio. Growing up here, I remember hearing all the spooky tales about the old hotels, the train tracks, and even the Alamo. While all of these make for great stories, as an attorney, I can't help but wonder if the owners of the properties where a death occurred understand the disclosures that are necessary. Have you had this happen to you during your business? You go to a seller, talk about the merits of their property, and they'll let you know about the new paint, the renovated kitchen, and the floor that was just installed. And they decide it's time to share with you one more fact. There's been a death on the property. Do you know what you are required to disclose if this happens? To answer this question, we'll first look to the property code. The law says a seller or seller's agent shall have no duty to make a disclosure or release information related to whether a death by natural causes, suicide, or accident unrelated to the condition of the property occurred on the property. This means we do not have to disclose a death that falls under these three given circumstances. However, the third circumstance leaves for some discretion, as it states, an accident unrelated to the property. For example, if a death happens because someone had a heart attack, this is not something that is related to a condition on the property. So you would not need to be disclosing this information. On the other hand, if the death happened as a result of falling into a well on the property, then this is the type of incident that would need to be disclosed. Murder is not on the list as an exception. Therefore, it needs to be disclosed. I was asked recently by someone, what if the person was shot on the property, but they actually died at the hospital? Is this something I would still need to disclose? Everyone has their different interpretation of the law, but my suggestion would be, it's better you tell them than the neighbor tells them the day after closing. Speaking of spooky disclosures, what would you do if you discovered a piece of property you were listing had a cemetery on it? This happened recently to an agent. The property was bought at auction by an out-of-town investor. We know that a property offered at auction does not require a seller's disclosure. The owner of the acreage never set foot on the property, so he never knew about the cemetery. So it wasn't until he turned around a few years later to cash in on his investment that he was made aware of it by the buyers. You should know, if they ever find a cemetery on your property, it's a regulated process once it's been discovered, and the means to handle it are extensive. Given this is a material fact, it is now something that would need to be disclosed to all future and potential buyers. If you would like to share your own spooky stories, email us at communications@safeword.com.